Welcome everybody out to podcast number 436. We're going to talk about writing and emails. Sorry about that. Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. Last time we talked about professional conduct, and this time we're going to talk about writing and emails. This is going to be a shorter podcast because it's a fairly simple one, but I want everybody on the podcast who's going through these coaching episodes to really get this. So first, before we get started, I want to tell you that it takes all the non-cognitive skills to be great. All the non-cognitive skills, grit, determination, discipline, hunger, and growth, greatness, and happiness go to those that are willing to do the hard work, and that includes writing and emails. You know, one of my favorite, it's currently my favorite, it wasn't originally, but my favorite concept is how you do one thing is how you do everything. And we have superintendents and project managers out there that are like, yeah, I'm a good superintendent, but I'm not really good at typing emails. Or, yeah, I'm a great superintendent, but I don't really create my own schedules. Or, I'm a good builder or project manager, but I'm not really into the financials. Or, you know, hey, I'm a surveyor, but I'm not good. I don't have good handwriting. Wrong. You are good and you are proficient and you are excellent at what you do when you master the big things and you master the little things. The surprise is there is no such thing as a good surveyor that can't take good notes. There is no such thing as a good project manager that doesn't know how to manage risk, that doesn't keep a risk and opportunity register, and doesn't know how to manage contingency and also increase the fee percentage. There is no such thing as a superintendent that doesn't know how to schedule and be on the computer to schedule and to create their own schedules. So how you do one thing is how you do everything, and you have to master the big things and you have to master the little things. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I want to ask you, what are the three Sorry. I'll give you 3 seconds. Sorry, that's where the 3 came from. I'll give you 3 seconds. What are you most grateful for today? Second thing, 3 seconds. What are you going to do today to give to the people around you and have influence? And why do I ask you these 2 questions? Because those people who ask the question, what am I grateful for constantly on a constant basis? And what am I going to do to give? These are the people that will progress along these coaching programs and along their personal path to success faster than any other possible way. There's a couple of books called The Go-Giver and The Leader Without a Title. I'm sure there's more that really changed and shaped my life. I absolutely love it. So let's get right into the podcast today. We're going to talk about writing and emails. I've already teased everybody about their handwriting, so I don't need to do that again. But I'm telling you, your handwriting matters. And I'm telling you, all caps, block lettering, it matters. You have to be able to communicate with other people. In recent boot camps, I edit, meaning I do red lines of people's information, their clarity documents, their personal organization systems. And some of them I'm like, yep, do this again. I can't understand a stinking thing that you're attempting to communicate here, right? So what is the purpose of having handwriting if you can't understand it, right? So that ties in also to the concept of if you can't write and form a coherent email. And I'm not going to teach you how to actually do that in this podcast because it would be fairly it would be fairly difficult, and every company has their own standards, right? You can go find that training if you really want to. But what good is it to write something or to write an email if somebody can't understand it? So that's what we're going to talk about now. Let me tell you a story. So there was one time when I thought that I wanted to be a doctor. So I was an assistant superintendent, and I started to go to Rio Salado. It's a community college here in Arizona, and it's a fantastic place. They do all of their online learning. I was taking a full course load and also being a superintendent, a very successful one. And I was getting straight A's. And so some of those courses were, English and gosh, I can't remember what math course I was in, but some advanced mathematics and there were some science courses that I had to go through. There was a writing course. I can't remember if I had a history course, but anyway, I had a full load. And I remember how beneficial just that one. Oh, real quick, let me just fast forward. Then I felt the inspiration that I could either be a doctor or do something really remarkable within construction to affect people's lives. I thought I could change people's lives being a doctor, but then I realized I can change people's lives in construction. That's true for all of us. So I ended up deciding, hey, after the first year, I'm good. I got straight A's in those courses, closed them out, did a really good job. That was a really great time in my life. It was hard, and it was hard on the family. But the one thing that I'm very grateful about is that I got better at writing. So people who have read my books probably know I'm not a great writer. I am getting better. And the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth books, which we're writing right now, will be so much better. And one day somebody will say that I'm a great writer, but not yet. But I will say that people can understand me. So I took those courses, and they taught me about the essay structure, about how to abbreviate what we're saying, how to do the fundamentals of grammar and punctuation, how to communicate a concept and to summarize, tell things in story form. It was just really, really remarkable. Now, when I first started in construction, it was like, I would send RFIs that were like, as per conversation on 10/23, blah, 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 blah. This long-winded, garbage, barely coherent email that most of us send in construction, right? At least I knew how to type. Oh, that's one thing. If you are a superintendent, project manager, project engineer, field engineer, and you do not know how to type, that's the first thing you need to do. You have to learn how to type. I tell you, that has saved me so much. And I'll tell you, I do voice to text, I do typing. I used to even have one of those vertical keyboards when I was writing a lot. And there's nothing that's ever going to substitute for being able to type. So you have to know how to type. Okay, so let's go through this. So after I took that course, I really felt like I had the fundamentals to write. And before that, I was using sentence structures that didn't make sense. I was using things like as per, or just like all kinds of weird things that just actually don't belong in sentence structures, right? Usually a good email is, I'm writing you to ... And I used to like wind all over hell to get to my point back in the day. And now it's like, I am writing you to discuss ... Like, it's very to the point. It's understandable. It engages the person that's reading it, and it is abbreviated. It's not too long, and people can understand it. The purpose of that email or that writing or that letter or whatever is to communicate for understanding, right? So having that year of coursework was really beneficial. And I've seen multiple people in construction take one of those courses, even if it's a night course, and do really, really well. So the concept is, you must learn to write. You must learn to write an email, and you must be able to be concise, and you must be able to have professional conduct in your writing style. It will benefit you in the long term. So I was thinking about, how could I add value in this podcast today, even though it's not very long, right? I think I'm at 8 minutes, but consider this. If you want to go as far as you want to go, then you have to be able to be a skilled communicator. Those people that are presidents, vice presidents, operations managers, project directors, general superintendents, senior superintendents, or whatever the case may be, managers, the way people get there is that they're partially great communicators. So if you right now, everybody on the podcast, if you're not already in those positions, if I said, how many of you want to be president of a company? How many of you want to be the vice president of a company? How many of you want to be a director? How many of you want to be at the executive level? How many of you want to be a manager? How many of you want to be a general superintendent? You have to learn to communicate. This will show up in interviews. It will show up in proposals. It will show up in schedules. It will show up in OAC meetings. It will show up in design meetings. It will show up in emails. It will show up when you are interfacing with the owner of the company. It will show up at events. It will show up when you're asked to give speeches. It will show up in audits. It will show up everywhere in your career. You have to be able to clearly communicate through the written language, and especially in emails and in the approaches that you take for things like interviews, when you're crafting your message and getting ready to deliver your part, you have to have this skill. So if somebody said, Jason, I think you're being dramatic about this, fine. It's your career. I'm simply telling you that this is a fundamental skill that you have to reach these executive levels. So you have to learn how to write an email, learn how to write in a way that follows the storyline, kind of like in the book, The Story Brand, and to be able to present, to communicate, to be able to present in an interview, to be able to run a design meeting, to communicate with owners, to send emails, and to do these things that are really beneficial for your career. Here are some things that I've seen before that don't work, right? The superintendent that types in all caps, first of all, you handwrite in all caps. You don't type in all caps. But the superintendent that writes in all caps, one or two sentences, and you're like, what the hell? Like, hold on a minute. What is it? There's no context to this email. Or the person that writes literally a book every time they sit down to type something, and you see the email. Like, have you been around that person where you see the email and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go get a cup of coffee to read this damn email. Like, those are not effective. It slows people down. It slows the team down. We're going to have to abbreviate those things. It's kind of like sometimes, and don't tell other people that I said this because it's super immature, but there's sometimes people at church when they get asked to go give a prayer, and I know who these people are. They get up there like they're preaching a sermon, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, this prayer is not a talk. It doesn't have to be 17 minutes long. Holy cow. Like, get in, get out, abbreviate, say your point, and make sure that it's to the point and that it's communicating for understanding, not so that you could just ramble on and tell people what you're thinking in 3 or 4 pages when you could have done it in one paragraph. The other thing that I see a lot in construction is people that just start rambling. What's reflected in the email or whatever they're writing is just the random thoughts of their mind. It's not structured. It's not to the point. It doesn't follow the principles of introducing and concluding a concept. It doesn't ask for anything, right? So it's very difficult. Here's my question. How much time is wasted with ineffective RFIs that aren't explained properly? How much time is wasted with emails that we have to interpret? How much time is wasted because we miscommunicate? How much time is wasted because people don't understand how to write emails professionally at work? And I will say that if we were actually to study it, it would be a considerable amount. So stay away from the long emails, stay away from the too short emails, stay away from the no emails when you should be communicating, stay away from the ones that are confusing. Don't use weird language that you heard before. Base it on proper sentence structure and grammar. Don't have bad daily reports. Don't have bad handwriting. Don't have bad inspection reports. Make sure that everything is written clearly and legibly and that we're using the English language for what it was intended, right? Because you have to have the ability to communicate in order to reach the advanced levels, these positions in construction. I hope this has helped. And it's really difficult for me because some of these things seem pretty simple. But I was talking to a company the other day, and I was presenting what it takes to be a great superintendent. And I asked the question, is any of this new? And everybody's like, no. And I said, so why am I telling you about it? And why did I write it in the book? And one very perceptive man said, because we don't do it. It's not practiced. We all know that we should have good handwriting, but because we've been focusing so much on technology and the easy button and on Google cultures and Starbucks and going out there and getting our dream job before we earned it, we're not focused on the fundamentals of what it takes to be a professional, which means that you know how to talk, and it means that you know how to write, it means that you know how to perform nice handwriting, it means that we know what professional conduct is, and it means that we master the fundamentals. And I said, none of this is new. But the difficulty is it's not practiced. And so what I'm asking people to do is to ask you this question. Is there room for improvement in your handwriting? Is there room for improvement in the way you structure emails? Is there room for improvement for how long your emails are? Is there room for improvement on how many emails you make? Meaning, do you need to communicate more and circle your team in more and copy your people in more? And do you need to be more specific? Do you need to write better RFIs? Is there room for improvement in how you write? Could your communication skills help you with these advanced positions and to advance your career? You are the one that can answer these questions, but I give you this podcast as a gift because I love you and I hope it helps. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.